Hello everyone, in today's tutorial we're going to be going over how to perform a jump turning side kick in Taekwondo. Before attempting any of these progressions, I do recommend you watch our side kick tutorial and our turning side kick tutorial because the technique from those tutorials will significantly help you in learning this kick. Additionally, before attempting any of these progressions, I do recommend you warm up and loosen to help prevent injury. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be kicking with my right leg, so I want to have my right leg in the back. Make sure you start in a very clear fighting stance with your guard up and your eyes initially on the target. When you're first learning this kick, you can start with your feet in line or have your kicking leg, that foot slightly offset and behind your other foot, similar to turning side kick and tornado kick. All right? From here, instead of pivoting on the ground like how we do for turning side kick and tornado kick, I'm going to do a jump turn. Okay? So I'm going to jump straight up. In turning side kick, jump turning side kick, the jump occurs before the kick. Okay, so make sure the jump is the very first thing you do. So step number one is jump and turn. I want to land with my back facing the target. Make sure it's around a 90 degrees turn. It's less turn than you actually think. So from my fighting stance, I want to have my heels off the ground, jump off the balls of my feet, and I'm going to turn in the air and land so my back is facing the target. That's step number one. Step number two is going to be switch your legs. So right now, we have our kicking leg in front of us. We want to get it closer to the target, so that's why we're going to have this switch step, this intermediate step here. So step number two for jump turning side kick, I'm going to also hop. I'm going to hop and switch my legs just like that. Okay, so let me show you steps 1 and 2. Starting in my clear fighting stance, step 1, jump turn. Start spotting your target already. Step 2 is going to be do a small switch, and let's add steps 3 and 4 now. So step number 3 is going to be your side kick chamber. Remember, this is a side kick, so make sure your foot is flexed, your knee is pulled into your chest, and you have a really tight chamber. And the final step from here is step number 4, which is going to be kick and pull back. So this is why we recommend you watch our side kick tutorial, because all the technique is the same. Make sure your leg fully extends out, you're striking with the heel, toes are facing slightly downwards, and then make sure you fully retract, pulling your knee into your chest, and then after you fully retract, you'll land. Okay? I'm going to show you 5 different ways you can break down this kick. This is going to be breakdown number 1. Okay? For breakdown number 1, there's 4 main steps I'm going to show you. So step number 1 is the jump turn. Step number 2 is going to be the switch. Step number 3, side kick chamber. And step number 4, kick, pull back, and down. Okay? As you get more comfortable with that, try to decrease the amount of time in between each step, just like this. So jump turn, jump switch, side kick chamber, kick, pull back down. Notice how I'm not jumping super high right now. All right? In jump turning side kick, depending on what you want to do, whether it's to demonstrate or to have more power whenever you're using this kick, that will determine how you want to jump. So if I want to make a clean, nice demonstration style kick, then I'm going to focus on my energy upwards. If I want a more powerful kick, useful in sparring, I don't want to be in the air too long, then you can do a lower jump and direct more of your energy forward. So watch breakdown 1 more time. Jump turn, jump switch, chamber, kick, pull back down. Before moving on to breakdown number 2, I do recommend you practice this breakdown until you're pretty comfortable. All right, but breakdown number 2 is going to be jump turn. Now we're going to combine the jump switch and the chamber. All right? So this is why I wanted you to practice that small switch, because our leg, when it's in the chamber, it's closer to the bag. It's not over here. All right? So you need to think that motion, but at the same time I'm performing that sort of switch motion, I want to chamber into that side kick position. So jump switch, chamber, and then we'll just have the kick the same. Kick, pull back down. And as before with the first breakdown, as you get more comfortable with this progression, try to put less and less time in between each of the steps. So just like this. Jump turn, jump switch chamber, and kick, pull back down. Practice this progression until you're ready to move on to the next one. So breakdown number 3 is going to be this. Jump turn, and now we combine the rest of the steps of the kick together. So think of that switching motion, I think of that chambering motion, and then I just extend my leg out, kick, pull back, and down. Okay? Make sure you get all the way to that chamber position. So we stop after the jump turn, then from here we do the rest of the kick. Jump switch, chamber, kick, pull back down. Watch again for breakdown number 3. Jump turn, spot your target, And then from here, I'm going to do the rest of the kick. So I do the jump switch, the chamber, and the kick. Just like that. Okay? Let's move on to the next breakdown, which is going to be breakdown number 4. So now, we're not stopping after the initial jump turn. Do not overturn. This is where it can get a little tricky here. So we're going to do the jump turn all the way into the chamber, the side kick chamber. All right? So I do my jump turn, I should do my switch, and I should land here. This is going to be breakdown number 4. Jump turn, switch, and chamber. Just like that. This step will help you recognize if you're overturning. All right? So try to keep that shoulder down as much as you can. Make sure you're still in a side kick position. All right? So this is breakdown number 4. Stop here. And then once you're comfortable with that, all you have to do, add in the kick. And like with the previous progressions, start decreasing the amount of time in between each of those steps. Okay? Stop. See, I overturned for that one a little bit, so I'm going to do it again. Stop. Find your balance. Then once you have your balance, kick. All right? And progression number 5 is the full version of the kick. So if you're pretty comfortable with the other breakdowns, then I recommend moving on to the full version of the kick. But if you're not, then be sure to stay on those other progressions and work on what you need to make better so you can have a very clean, nice technique kick. Right, from there, the full kick. Do the jump turn, the switch chamber, and the kick all together. Do not over-rotate, right, for jump turning side kick. Next, I'm going to give you a couple tips to help you improve this kick and make sure it's as powerful as it can be and you have proper technique to make it look nice and clean. Just like with any kick, make sure you do pull your hands in whenever you are kicking. So I started my initial fighting stance. Whenever I am initiating the kick and doing the jump, my hands are in to keep all of my weight in the same spot and make sure I'm protected, I'm not vulnerable, as vulnerable whenever I am performing that kick. Additionally, try to load your legs before the initial jump, right? You can't really load your legs in the middle of the air. So I have to load my legs before the initial jump so I get more power on the jump. If you're trying to do a demonstration style jump turning side kick for board breaking or just kicking the air, then you can focus more of your energy upwards. All right, so you want to jump more straight up. If you want to use this technique in sparring to have more power, more pushing power, you want to sort of jump more forward toward the target. All right, so I want to jump at the target a little bit and not as high. I want to jump more forward toward the target. Okay, so demonstration style is going to look like this. Nice and high. And then sparring style is going to be lower, but notice how I'm going to end up a little closer to the bag, more pushing power. I go more toward the bag, and I stay a lot lower to the ground there. For maximum power, make sure you fully extend that leg out. Fully extend. And then really be explosive. Push off those legs super hard and fully extend that leg into the target. Right? And with any other kick, make sure you have a smooth landing to make sure you're not vulnerable. And especially out of a jumping kick, try to land on the balls of your feet to make sure you have a nice, smooth landing to help prevent injury. Right? And so you can recover more smoothly. That's how you do a jump turning side kick in Taekwondo. If you have any suggestions for what we should do a tutorial on next, be sure to leave it down in the comments below. This is Champions Taekwondo Academy. Thanks for watching.